Okay, welcome to Production Possibilities Curve. This is for macroeconomics with Professor Coach Demos. If you have any questions, please ask in class or shoot me an email. I'm going to try to make this video short as possible. At any time, please pause it, go back over it, review it however you need it. So let's take a look at the production possibility curve. We definitely have a problem in society, right? We have a lot of wants, um, but we only have so many resources in order to fulfill those wants. And here comes in the production possibilities curve, or graph, or frontier, however you want to call it. Basically, this model tells us what we have the possibility to produce. We can't produce anything. We can only, or everything. We can only produce what we have the resources, land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship to produce. Here's a production possibilities table. This table will let us know the amount of iPhones. For example, in this example, I'm going to use iPhones. How many iPhones we can produce and how much corn we can produce. You can see here we have points A through E. Why don't you go ahead and graph those points and pause the video, graph them, and you should have something that looks like this. And this graph basically shows us trade-offs. A, B, C, D, and E are trade-offs. Scarcity, well, we can only produce 14 phones and 8 corn. Efficiency, any point on this line is efficient. We're producing what we're able to produce. We have the possibility to produce them. We can only produce one at a time, though. Point G is impossible or not sustainable for larger economies, but we'll just say for right now, impossible. We'll get back to this point later on in the course. And then any course or any point inside here is going to be inefficient, or it's going to be unemployment. And that's not just labor. That can be any of our resources are being unemployed. Let's take a look now, though, at cost. How do we show opportunity cost on our production possibility curve? So why don't you go ahead and look at our curve over here, our iPhones and our corn. We're using our production possibilities table over here. And why don't you answer questions 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5, and see how you do. Go ahead, pause the video, answer those. Okay, you should have something that looks like this. 2 iPhones, right? We gain corn when we move from A to B, right? When we go from A to B, we're gaining corn, but we're losing 2 iPhones. When we go from B to C, we are losing 3 iPhones, but we are gaining more corn, right? So every time we gain corn, we lose iPhones. Well, now we're going to gain phones, but we're losing, what is it costing us, right? Our cost, we're losing corn. F to C is no cost, right? We should do that. We were inefficient, now we're efficient. And then point G is unattainable. All right, production possibilities, frontier, efficiency, we'll look at that, the 2 different types of efficiency. Let's take a look at those. And the 2 types of efficiency are productively efficient. All of these points are productively efficient, right? They are all productively efficient, meaning we're producing appropriately. Which ones are allocatively efficient? Well, I don't know. It depends on what society wants. Society will tell us what we want. Do we want more iPhones and less corn? Or do we want more corn and less iPhones, right? So, for example, this point here is productively efficient, but it's not allocatively efficient. People want this, not that. Okay, shifting the production possibility curve. We want growth. We want this curve to shift out here so we can have more stuff. We can work at point E. Well, how do we do that? Well, we have to change something. We have to change the quantity of a resource, the quality of a resource. Well, what's our resources? Land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship, human capital, and physical capital. A change in technology and a change in trade, right? So Q, T, T, right? Let's take a look at that. So what I want you to do is I want you to pause. I want you to go back, review those shifters, and then come back here, and you're going to look at question 1. We're going to look at question 2, 3, 4, and 5. So pause the video, and you're going to well, let's take a look at number 1 first. Let's look at see what you're doing first. So we're looking at industrial cranes and double doubles, and we want to know, will a change in quantity, quality, technology, or trade increase that? And we're going to go ahead and say yes. And question 1, new steel making technology. Is it a shifter? Well, yeah, it's right there. Technology, right? Is it going to affect double doubles or industrial cranes? Well, steel is going to affect industrial cranes. So we're going to go back, right? And we're going to look at this, and you're going to graph it. You're going to draw your graph, your y and x axes, double doubles, right? Double doubles, industrial cranes, and new steelmaking technology is going to shift for just industrial cranes. So go back, pause the video, do each and every one of these, and then we'll answer those in just a second. So pause the video, draw your graphs, show your shifts. Be careful, not all of these will have shifts. Pause the video now and work on those. Okay, question 2 should look like this, right? A decrease in demand. Just because people don't want it doesn't mean that we can't produce it. We still have the ability. We're just not going to produce this many double doubles. We're just going to produce this many double doubles less and produce more cranes. Okay, disease kills 40% of all cattle. Well, they're gone. That cattle's dead. We cannot produce it anymore. So that's going to be a shift inward. Unemployment, a lot of people want to shift this inward. It's not an inward shift. It's just movement from the curve being efficient to inefficient. These people are unemployed. We can still use them. We have the possibility to use them, but we're not using them. They're unemployed. And then last, increases in education. Well, yeah, then we do see a shift out for both, because now we've changed the quantity or quality of a resource, labor, and we're able to produce more. If you have any questions, watch the video again, or shoot me an email, or talk to me in class. I hope this helped.